Okay, so here we are. We're all signed into Minecraft Education. Whatever your login for it is in your school, your tenancy, whatever that's from, it's your username, which is generally your email address and your password. Once that's in, that takes you to this point. We've got a few options: play, new features and settings, any new things like hour of codes, new settings, new worlds that have been added, special things, all get added into here. Settings, obviously your main game settings where you can set up various things, such as if you want to rebind keys, your camera sensitivity, accessibility options like text to speech, touch depending on how you're playing it, because it can be touch if you're a touchscreen laptop or a tablet, whatever you're playing it on. We've got controller as well. General settings, video, audio, resource packs, and so on. What we're interested in, though, is obviously once we're in and started, is the play button. We're going to look how to set up a new world and then how we sort of get into all of that. So let's go. So click play. And it's probably a very familiar screen to you. My Worlds or Your Worlds You've Created library. We'll look at this in another video. This is where all the subject-specific and hour of code resources are, stuff to do with AI. So then we've got our Create New World button, our Join, and our Import button, which allows us to bring in a world that's already made, or maybe we've downloaded from a file. But we're going to start here. We're going to click Create New. So it loads up. So with the recent updates, there are a few changes to the way this screen looks. We can give our world a name at the top, and we're in the general settings here. We can set either survival or creative. If you're in survival, then it's there, creative again. You can still set the difficulties, but in creative, you're immortal and you've got access to everything. But that's where we change those. Then we go to advanced, so it's not all in one long continuous list. If you've got a specific seed, you can type that in. If you want a flat world, just give that a check, and then you'll get an option for various things. Classic flat, few different options. You can set or see how many layers of things there are. So we can see here the world is only 4 blocks thick. 1 grass, 2 dirt, and then bedrock. And obviously in creative, you can bash right through. Starting map gives us an actual map, so we can find things. Bonus chest with items. Coordinates, I would always advise turn those on. Days plays, recipe unlocking, and then various things to do with fire, TNT, mob loot, and so on. If you're setting up a world for people to play in, or if you want everybody in, you might want to change some of these. You might want respawn on, you might want radius, how far it renders. We got into some more things, so we can have it always day. Nice easy checkbox there. Keep inventory if you die. Mob spawning and so on. You might want to turn that off in a flat world. You might not want it on. But all these, they're all there in the normal versions of Minecraft, and it explains what they do. The teachers, we got our classroom settings, so we can choose to allow console commands or the code builder. Perfect weather, so it's always day. No weather cycle. Mob restrictions, so you can turn it on if you don't want to put things on. You can take out destructive items and player damage and player versus player damage. So if you want all your students in there and you don't want them to be sort of fighting against each other or taking damage or being able to do that, you can turn that off and you've got no problems. Resource links. If you want to link to a web-based resource you've got, you can put that in there and there'll be a button for it as well. And we'll cover that in another video, as well as cloud storage. So I'm going to start a flat world, but we could start anything. So I'm going to go back to advanced. I've got flat world done. I'm going to leave this how it is. I'm not going to have a starting map, but I am going to have my coordinates. And then I click play. That's going to load up. And then we're in our world. And here we go. We're in our world. So it's flat. We've got some mobs. And they will spawn. It's flat. You see the coordinates are there on the screen. I'm currently at 0, 0. So my X and my Y and my Z are there. And then I've got my thing. And I can bash through the world here. And you can see that it's only those 4 blocks thick. There we go.